Hello Resident Evil fans, I got to this video a couple of days ago and I was really curious to check the video. I didn't have the time, but today I want to check for the first time with you. Since I'm a big fan of Resident Evil, since Resident Evil 1 and probably Resident Evil 9 will be the only title I will buy in pre-order. The pre-order will be 29 of this month. So let's take a look and see what's going on.
Capcom that, because that was actually their main counter argument when we were trying to bring back the classic games. They were like, okay, we have all of those remakes. It's already like superior experience, right, to those games. Superior experience, superior experience, superior experience.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Conjured Lion and welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. Hope you guys are having an amazing day so far. So I was online just browsing through the internet as I usually do, and I stumble on a new article slash video, and this video had to do with Resident Evil. So being a Resident Evil channel, I go and freaking watch the damn video. So I decided to watch it, and honestly, it was one of the most upsetting things I have ever watched, being a fan of the OG games. So this was actually an interview slash Q&A for GOG themselves.
Okay, I got it.
Specifically the managing director, Maciej Galubeski, and the senior business development manager, Marcin Pazinski. So when asked about the Resident Evil GOG games, the question was, did you find that there was an audience of people that just wanted the OG Resident Evil experience? Marcin, the developer manager, who is the guy on the right here, answers, and this is an abbreviation of what he says to make it shorter for you guys, but he basically says, I was one of the people that was spearheading the project within GOG. Capcom's main counter argument was that the games already have a superior experience, so they didn't see the value in bringing back the classical vanilla versions. It took a lot of convincing that, hey guys, there is an audience with a lot of memories that would love to experience these games again, and thankfully we were able to convince them. Which, by the way, to add on to this, these games sold absolutely well in GOG with a 94% positive review, which he also stated it also reflected on the sales for GOG.
Right now, I'm replaying all the titles of Resident Evil. I start Resident Evil 0. You can check all the live streams on my channel. And now I'm playing Resident Evil 1. I miss it so much. I forgot how fun, intense is Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 1 for me is a masterpiece. I'm loving every minute.
GOG. Then he goes to say that there is an audience for these classical games, and he's 100% right. Now, I have a huge issue with this because now it makes complete sense of why Capcom has been completely hesitant to release remasters of the old Resident Evil titles, or hesitant to even acknowledge the existence of the classical titles as well. Listen, everyone is entitled to their opinions. I feel like anyone can enjoy anything they want. If you like the remakes more, that's completely okay. If you like the OG games more, that's completely fine too.
Yeah, I agree.
I personally love the remakes, even 3, yes, even Resident Evil 3 remake. But to say that 2 remake and 3 remake and maybe 4 remake are superior versions is completely wild to me. Now, I feel like I'm in a position where I have to defend the OG games because it seems like there's some shade being thrown for the older titles. And I understand this isn't everyone at Capcom. I 100% understand that completely. But let's get one thing straight before we move on. 2 cuts out one of the main traits that made it unique, and that's the zapping system. Both scenarios are absolutely identical except for the orphanage. Story changes, Leon and Claire's interactions. Monsters 3 remake was completely demolished when it comes to Jill, locations, puzzles, scenario changing choices, which is a big one, monsters, Nemesis himself, and let me mention the soundtrack for both games in comparison to the originals is not even close. I'm sorry, but you can't say you have the superior experience if the experience you are experiencing has less of an experience than the OG's experience. I don't know if I confused you guys there. So where exactly
it's clear for me.
Superior experience, graphical changes, voice lines, I don't know. And it's funny because I know I'm gonna get people in the comments saying, well, the older Resident Evil games are outdated. And the problem is, after you say something like this, now you have to be consistent in the statement and call every mechanic that is derivative to Resident Evil 4 outdated because it's been 20 years and Resident Evil 4 came out 3 years after Resident Evil Remake, so it's not far off as well. If you want me to be completely honest, I'm still a firm believer to this day that if it weren't for the decision making at Capcom of making Resident Evil 1 Remake and Resident Evil 0 a GameCube exclusive, we would have had the classic survival horror style today, well and alive. I have to remind everyone that when Resident Evil 1 Remake and Resident Evil 4 came out on the GameCube, Resident Evil 4 barely beats Resident Evil 1 Remake. It's not until Resident Evil 4 gets ported over to the PS2 with separate ways that it started to do numbers, which, by the way, Shinji Mikami himself protested against. He did not want Resident Evil 4 to be on the PS2, but for some strange reason, 1 Remake and 0 remained on the GameCube. So why exactly is any of that what I just said relevant? So we fast forward to the GOG interview, and apparently Capcom said there is no interest for these games today, which, by the way, Resident Evil as a brand is bigger than ever today. So when Capcom released the HD collection of Resident Evil 1 Remake and Resident Evil 0 in 2014, which, by the way, again, are games that are part of the classical traditional Resident Evil, it made a total of 5 million plus in sales since. So the fact that Capcom says there is no interest in these classic titles is beyond me. I'm baffled by that quote alone. You know, people have been asking for a Resident Evil trilogy remaster for the absolute longest time, and yes, it's been ported to GOG, PS5, but again, these aren't in-house remasters whatsoever. Especially when the 30-year anniversary is approaching, you would think that Capcom would actually do something for the fans that stuck with them for this very long time, but it seems like we're not getting anything, and it's hilarious, and it makes sense why we haven't gotten anything at all for these remasters whatsoever. But yeah, this was absolutely upsetting to read and to watch the video of this, because man, I can't believe Capcom actually did come out. And honestly, we kind of suspected that for a really long time. Like, do they not care about these remasters? Do they not care about the OG games? Because they've been remastering, hell, Devil May Cry, they've been remastering Onimusha. But I'm sorry for yapping the entire time. It's just complete BS on their part. People are asking for Outbreak Remastered, Code Veronica Remastered, the OG games to be remastered, but instead we get games like Reverse, which didn't even last about 3 months. But if you guys like the content, make sure to like the video, and if you are new to the channel and do not want to miss any more Resident Evil content, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and most importantly, guys, take care of yourselves, eat some food, drink plenty of water, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next time, and until then, peace.
Okay, I got it. I thought this will be about Resident Evil 9, but it is not. Look, in some part I agree with him. For me, both experiences are great. The remasters and the OG. I like them both. Of course, since I played the originals, as I told you, I play all the main titles of Resident Evil since Resident Evil 1. Resident Evil 1 was the first title I ever played on my PlayStation 1. Since then, I love Resident Evil. I play also the remaster and I enjoy. I will not say it's a superior experience. It's different, of course. We have the graphics. It's amazing. The new graphics much better than the classic games, but that is normal. But sometimes I don't have that scary factor, if you know what I mean. I play them with different age. And that is a big factor, because when I played the original Resident Evil 1, the whole scenario in the world was different. Okay, you don't have too much access to games like we have nowadays. Nowadays, we have like one lunch every day. You go to online Steam, buy the game, Xbox, it doesn't matter. Back in the days, I have to go out from my house, buy the physical copy. So it's different. For me, I'm okay with both. I like to play both original Resident Evil games and also the remaster. I will not say one is superior to another. They are different. If you enjoy more the original, amazing, I totally get it. But if you start playing Resident Evil with the new titles, the remaster, and you enjoying a lot and you think the other is too old, I'm fine with that. Okay, guys, please share with me in the comments what is your opinion about this. And I'm still looking for and really hyped for Resident Evil 9, and I will get it in pre-order. I don't pre-order a big title since Diablo 4. Until today, I regret that decision. But the Resident Evil, I'm pretty sure I will not regret it because I enjoy all the titles. Okay, take care and see you in the next video.
Fresh meat.